Hey guys, welcome to another episode with me, Shashank Udupa, and in today's episode, we are going to talk about how taxes just killed the entire stock market.
A fall in terms of markets is what we are seeing.
The Indian stock market.
Stock market.
Interesting
to see
Because
what's
Indian
happening.
stock market. But to start off with,
Now, in the last 1 year, we saw a massive increase in taxes across the segment, and one of the biggest hit sectors was the Indian stock market. Now, the Indian stock market had seen a phenomenal rise since COVID. Nifty, in fact, went from 8,000 levels during COVID-19 to a high of 26,178 in October 2024, and we were one of the fastest growing economies at that point.
Does the bull run in Indian stocks have further to run?
the economy grew by 8.4%.
India could bounce back to be world's fastest growing economy once again this year.
It will remain the fastest growing economy in the world.
But then everything changed, and here's what happened. Now, in the Indian economy, we are all in fear. And I'm not saying this, but actually the data is saying this. From last year, the March consumer confidence has dropped consistently from 98.5% to 94%, which is alarming as it may fall even more now because consumers are spending much less right now. And this is happening because the economy is struggling a lot. And India's GDP growth rate has gone down from 8.6% to almost 6%. Now, Goldman Sachs predicted that India's GDP growth will slow down to 6.3% in 2025 because of reduced government spending and credit growth. And the global economy is predicted to remain stable, whereas our economy is predicted to go slow. But it's not just over yet, because the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation recently reported that the Consumer Price Index, or the CPI, or the retail inflation surged to 6.2% in October 2024, and the food inflation as well, as per the Consumer Food Price Index, also rose to 10.87, and this marked the highest inflation since August 2023, surpassing the Reserve Bank of India's upper tolerance limit of 6%. So what we can basically understand from this data is that India is getting into a serious problem of stagflation, which is an economic event that occurs when the inflation rate is high and the economic growth rate slows down, which is very hard for the economy to recover because we have to wait for the inflation to come down for us to start the growth again. But surprisingly, this situation is not happening around the world but is only happening in India. Now, in this video, I will discuss in detail what are the internal problems we're facing today, and towards the end of the video, I will also talk about possible solutions that can help us come out of this. So let's begin. Now, we all know that the stock market actually predicts the economic situation very clearly before it happens. Now, this happened in India because when India was showing a GDP growth rate of 8.6%, two indexes, Nifty FMCG and Nifty Bank, which represents the consumer economy, was falling heavy and had massive drops because both the revenue and profit was dipping. Now, this was mainly because both the banks and the consumer companies came and said that we are seeing a slowdown in consumption, in both consumption and credit growth. Now, this is mainly because of a cycle. So here starts the cycle. Now, consumers are earning less, but also the taxes are high. The basic expenses because of inflation has also gone high. So even though the consumers are earning less, they are now spending less because they don't have a lot of money. Now, if consumers spend less, then companies will start manufacturing less. And if companies start manufacturing less, they make lower incomes. Now, if companies make lower incomes, then they will start laying off people or reducing salaries of their consumers. And in fact, it comes back to the cycle that the consumers start earning less. And there are two big problems or two main fundamental problems in this entire cycle, which is high inflation and high tax. Now, let's start with inflation and understand that a little bit more as to what just happened. Now, the significant contributor to inflation in India was the food inflation, which hit a 15-month high of 10.8% in November 2024. Vegetable prices shot up by 42% and fruit prices also became very expensive, almost like luxury items. Now, in India, another essential item is the edible oil, which is actually 70% of it is imported to India. Now, the government of India imposed an import tax of 20% from 0%, which led to a 13% increase in the price of edible oil in 1 month. Now, in India, we did not have many edible oil producers, so we had to keep importing high edible oil at high prices, and that price was passed on to the end consumer, which is me and you. As you can see, the price of basic commodities went up more than 10%, but your salary was not increasing by 10%. Leave 10%, it was not even going above 7%, which is basically your fixed deposit rate. So what happened was, all over, India's inflation rate went up to 6.2%, which is higher than the RBI tolerance rate of 6%. and essential items started getting expensive. And when essential items get expensive, it's not just me and you, but even the bottom of the pyramid get affected. Now, if you see the food inflation graph during the Russia-Ukraine war, food inflation was less than the current level. At that point, the crude oil prices also increased a lot, diesel, petrol costs also went up, which led to high transportation charges, but we were still okay at that point. Now, here comes the real question. What was the main reason for this inflation? Now, the government of India, as you know, was getting cheap crude oil from Russia because of a relation, but the government did not decrease the price of petrol and diesel, and they did not pass that profit on to the end customer. Now, because of that, a lot of people were still paying high transportation costs, which led to increasing in cost of items. Now, with this, we will enter the world of taxes. Now, in budget 2024, the first big change that happened was the increase in STT, or the Securities Transaction Tax, which went up from 0.01% to 0.02%. But that's actually a 100% increase that happened. Now, that did not end here. The long-term capital gains tax also increased from 10 to 12.5%, a 25% jump, and also STCG went from 15 to 20%, which was a 33% jump. Now, if you understand the story of STT, it is very interesting. Because in 2024, the government wanted to encourage long-term investment in India and completely removed LTCG. That is why they introduced STT instead, which was much cheaper for the people. But over time, as you see, the STT was always there, but LTCG suddenly came back, and STCG was always there, but the STT did not go back. And this happened in 2018 budget. Now, what happened for the normal consumer is that you're always paying two different taxes. One is the security transaction tax every time you buy and sell, and then after that, you also have to pay long-term capital gains and short-term capital gains. And this discouraged a lot of people from participating in the Indian economy. And not just us, but also the foreign institutional investors. They were pissed off as well. Now, apart from all the capital market taxes, we also saw an increase in GST taxes.
The goods and services tax.
The GST. Increase in GST rates.
GST Council.
In fact, even India's medical inflation is so high that to cover consumers' health insurance, we are still paying 18% GST, which the GST Council is debating why are we still keeping that. Now, in India, the summers are also getting hot over time. Right now, because of that, a lot of people prefer ACs compared to fans. Now, AC is now becoming an essential for every household, but the government has actually taxed AC as a luxury item at 28% GST. And not just that, even small cars are taxed at 29% GST all inclusive, and big SUV cars are taxed at almost 43%, which is massive. And that is why we saw that the retail sale of vehicles in India witnessed a significant decline of 9.26% year on year in September, with cars in both passenger vehicle having the steepest fall of nearly 19%. And this was according to the Federation of Automobile Dealers Association of India in their latest report. Apart from cars and AC, there are also other essentials that are expensive. For example, butter and ghee is 12%, fruits is 12%, hair oil is 18%, your toothpaste is 18%, even the soap that you use is 18% GST. Now you're paying multiple different taxes at different levels. And if you want to look at more different taxes, you can check out this link as well. Now, India has 5 tax slabs under GST, which is 0, 5%, 12%, 18%, and 28%. Now, almost 60% of the goods are capped under 12 and 24%. And that is why India has the highest GST in the world at 28%, with Canada having one of the lowest average GDP in the world. Now, the problem is, think about it. After earning a salary, the consumers have to pay TDS. After that, have to pay high indirect taxes, even on basic necessities. And the basic necessities also started becoming expensive, all in all, which led to a slowdown in our economy. Now, because of this slowdown and India's growth story concept is also failing, FII started selling heavy in the Indian market and started moving to other countries like US and China. But the question arises, Shashank, why US? Now think about this. Donald Trump is returning to the White House on Jan 20th, and there are major implications because he has a very simple slogan which says, "Make America Great Again." Now he wants to make the dollar very, very, very strong and also wants to create a lot of tariffs for people who are importing and exporting out of US. Now if that happens, the dollar index, which is the US dollar, is becoming very strong, and that automatically affects emerging economies because people like India now have to pay more rupees to buy the same dollar, which leads to a devalue in our currency, which has also happened in the recent past. Now, when such things happen, The FIIs who are investing in Indian economy as the growth economy will now say that, you know what, I can take this money, go back to US because I can start investing in US, which is a much safer environment, and even the US stocks are doing so well right now, and if the dollar becomes stronger, these stocks will do much better. But the second side, we are also facing another big problem from China. Now think about this. The stocks in the MSCI index are predicted to see almost 15% profit growth in dollar terms, which is lower than the 20% average over the last decade. Now India, even though it remains the fastest growing economy with the central bank now forecasting 6.5%, the Indian corporate sector did not meet those expectations. Now in contrast, analysts were very negative about China until the recent change that the government did, which was the stimulus. Now China recently announced that they have an all-time low inflation, but they were also going through an economic problem. So what did they do? They said we are going to put a lot of money into the economy to grow the economy. Now if these stimulus packages come into the Chinese economy, then the Chinese economy, the local companies will start doing much better, and if they do much better, the revenue will go up, the chances of those companies' share prices will start going up, the Chinese stock market index goes up, and everything starts looking good and much better. And if China starts producing a lot with this stimulus budget, the main person who loses is India, because if China overproduces like before, then they will start flooding the market at cheap prices, and India always takes a big hit over there. So both China and US are now becoming one of the strongest economies, and India is stuck in the middle. Now, as I said in the start of the video, let me talk about what the solutions are. So let us understand how India can come back to its original glory and come back to the top. Now, solution 1. First things first, we need to bring back the consumption. Now that the food inflation and retail inflation are in check, the RBI can start their rate cuts to fuel the consumption in the economy. Now, rate cuts in simple terms means that the interest rate for loans at banks will become cheaper. Now, how is that advantageous for us? Because if the interest rates become cheaper, then the companies can take loans from banks and grow their business, spend more money on manufacturing, and become much larger. And if they become much larger, they employ more people, and that cycle starts. In fact, if the interest rate goes down, even people like me and you benefit a lot, because now I can go buy houses at cheaper interest rates, and the housing market will also grow, and the housing market employs a lot of people in our country up to the bottom of the pyramid. Number 2 solution is, boss, bring back the old STCG and LTCG, go back to the old levels and remove this STT tax. You cannot have all three at the same time and have an economy that is not growing. So you have to make things favorable for the FIIs to come in. So either reduce the STCG, reduce the LTCG and remove the STT. You see how India will start growing. Now number 3, which is the best solution, is please give some benefit to the middle class. Now we can provide any kind of benefit to the middle class by increasing the tax slab, increasing the standard deduction which was not changed for a very long period of time, or link it to some inflation, or reduce the GST on basic things like insurance at least. Because if that happens, even if an Aam Aadmi saves 5%, 10%, 15% of what he makes in a year, he can actually start spending that into other things and fuel the consumption growth in our story. Now look, the aim is to make India one of the strongest and fastest growing economies in the world, and high taxes are definitely not the solution. Now, growing the country and focusing on consumption-led tax, right? That is something that we should use very well, and using that tax money without corruption, without freebies, into actual economic growth. And if that growth fuels more revenue for the world and more revenue for the people, that becomes much better. So all I can say is create jobs, not bank accounts where you can deposit free money. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys like this video. It takes a lot of effort to make these videos as well. So I hope you guys liked it, and please click on the like button, subscribe to this channel as well for more insightful content. And let me know in the comment section below what is your take on this Indian tax laws. And if you like this video, let me know what video would you like to see next. This is me, Shashank, signing off. Take care. See you guys. Bye.